Welcome to the Damage Report. I'm John Inarola. We got a big old day of news. My wife, we were watching TV last night, Top Chef or something like that, and my wife messages or says to me, "Ugh, Marjorie Greene's calling to defund the FBI," and I was like, "Ugh, Green." And I thought, wait, why is she saying that? I mean, I know she's crazy. She doesn't need a reason for the things she says, but why is she saying that? And I was like, dear God. I had missed it by like 4 hours, the raid. I was just, eating food and watching Top Chef. But anyway, glad to have you all here for the big day of the raid of Donald Trump. So I don't know which is more explosive, the raid of Trump's house at Mar-a-Lago or just the right wing every second since it happened. Because they are freaking out, and we're going to be talking about it, as well as a lot of other things. And tonight is also election coverage, so everybody, you're going to need to buckle up, okay? But while you're buckling up, if you could hit the like button, that would be great. We're going to jump into the news. First off, cases dropped a bit. I mean, again, the change at any given day, be careful about assuming too much about that. But we dropped like almost 20,000 average cases per day since yesterday. You can actually see, you probably can't see, but I can see a little right at the end there. Hospitalizations down slightly. ICU, people in ICU patients, flat there. Deaths still below 500. Really do think that we might be nearing the end of this wave. Gas prices continue to tick down. We've dropped 2.6 cents on average nationally since yesterday. So even exceeding the normal 2 cents per day that we have. Look, if this pattern holds, then by Thursday, the average price will be below $4 per gallon after, getting as high as over $5 nationally. So we'll have dropped a buck in 2 months, maybe 3 months. That's pretty damn good. It's averaging, it's dropping pretty consistently, and I do like that. We've got Serena Williams hinting, well, not hint, I think at this point, it moved rapidly from hint to simply stating that she'll be retiring, which, look, I don't actively watch tennis, although I do enjoy playing it, but she is one of the most legendary athletes of all time at this point. I mean, absolutely dominating her sport, so that's a huge thing for tennis. So I know a lot of people are probably pretty despondent about that today. Let's see. July was one of the 3 hottest, filled with heat waves as well as wildfires, flash floods, mudslides. And look, it's just gonna get worse. It won't look that bad in hindsight in a few years, perhaps, but it looks pretty bad right now. May Money, I love volleyball. Volleyball is actually my favorite sport. I've played so much volleyball, intramural teams and, stuff like that. Tournaments and everything. Really like volleyball. Anyway, Andrew, we're going to get to a lot of the reactions to what's going on, but Andrew Yang. I'm no Trump fan. I want him as far away from the White House as possible. Okay, that's good. But a fundamental part of his appeal has been that it's him against a corrupt government establishment. This raid strengthens the case for millions of Americans who will see this as unjust persecution. Yeah, but what are you saying in that? Like, will they interpret it that way? Yes, it's a cult. They will interpret it in a way that absolves their leader of any culpability for the crimes he's committed. But you could also acknowledge that one of the reasons Trump pitches himself as being against the corrupt establishment is because he wants to get away with crimes. And we're going to talk more about what it means for Trump to be because he is only anti-establishment in the most shallow way. He is Tucker Carlson anti-establishment. Donald Trump fucking loves the establishment. He just also likes saying that he's against it. He's benefited mightily, financially, politically, because of the establishment. And we need to get better about not simply ceding to the right. Oh, they're populists. Oh, they're anti-establishment. Oh, they're anti-elite. Fuck that. No, they're not. They say that on TV. That's a character they play poorly. That is not the same thing as actually being against it. But that said, look, my headline is maybe a bit over the top. Donald Trump launching his bid for the presidency. I did say shadow, though, because, no, he basically did. We're going to jump around in this video, but take a look at what he released almost immediately after the raid at Mar-a-Lago. This is on Truth Central. We're going to jump around.
We are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation.
He did a bang-up job in his first 4 years. If all of it takes is a year and a half for us to go completely into decline, this is going to be so over the top. It's black and white. It's sad.
We are a nation that has the highest inflation in over 40 years.
Because yeah, we also have the lowest unemployment. I mean, you take the good with the bad.
The worst first half of a year in more than 5 decades.
Okay, so it's going to be very black and white. There's storms everywhere. Eventually, things will pick up.
American citizens and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment.
He doesn't mention Zawahiri dying. Of course, he doesn't mention the many people he killed as president.
Devastate a country, Ukraine, killing hundreds of thousands of people, and it will only get worse.
Well, okay, I don't think anybody's claimed that hundreds of thousands have died. So really fast on the Ukraine thing. So, what would you have done? Would you have stopped him in some way? What would you have done exactly? Anyway, we're gonna jump way ahead. It starts to get brighter, and there's happiness, and there's hats.
There's no victory we cannot have. We will not bend.
We won't bend. I'm throwing hats. Blah blah blah. Oh, he's doing the little fist thing.
And Americans kneel to God and God alone, and it is time to start talking about greatness.
It's time to start talking about greatness again. The best is yet to come. So, one of their defenses against any investigation of him is, no, you can't. He's running for president. He's running for president. Like, to prove it, he released this video right after the raid. I think that's why they're doing it. They had been getting it prepared or whatever, because I do think that he plans on launching his presidential run very soon. He's not happy for all this political news to be about other Republicans, but they are definitely going to pretend that you can't do an investigation. The dude's running for president, even though, of course, he will spend the rest of his life running for president if that's what it takes to not go to jail. The entire thing's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, we're going to have a lot more on the raid, as well as some of the right-wing reaction to it. That'll be coming up a little bit later on. I'm going to be joined by David Schuster, so it should be a lot of fun. Right now, though, Wazi Lambre, I can see, just joined J.R. Jackson on the watch list. So you can go to twitch.tv/TYT, youtube.com/watchlist2YT. Oh, by the way, on my Patreon at patreon.com/John Itarola, I just released a little vlog behind the scenes of Dolls and Monsters, the most recent short story I released. It's a little bit sick, twisted horror story. But anyway, I did a little video explaining what I intended with it, how successful I think it was, and that's available on the Patreon. For now, though, watch list is up. I'll talk to you soon.